Skibidi-lay, let's learn how to recycle. Hi guys, my name's Adam Earl, and if I wasn't being preachy enough in the past, get used to it because I'm doing it even more today. Because today I'm going to be talking to you about recycling and how you might be able to do it just a little bit better. Before I start though, it doesn't matter where in the world you are from. Here in Lincoln, the brown bin is for recycling and the black bin is for waste. However, if you live on Signet Wharf or Courts, your recycling bin will be orange and your waste bin will vary. What to do when you're at home? If you've got glass stuff, wash it, boom, recyclable. Some plastics can and can't be recycled. Hard plastic good, soft plastic not good. Is stuff still dirty after a quick rinse? Is stuff still dirty after a quick rinse? I've cursed it. Is stuff still dirty after a quick rinse? Is stuff still dirty after a quick rinse? Is stuff still dirty after a quick rinse? Is stuff still dirty after a quick Is stuff still dirty after you've cleaned it once? Well, if you can get it to about 95% clean overall,
use your brains for this one, kids,
then it should be recyclable. However, if it's still pretty uncleanable, just throw it in waste. Frequent the takeaways, save that Tupperware. You can use it to store portions of your food that you might not eat later, or alternatively, if you know you're not going to do any of that cooking malarkey, then you can just throw it in recycling. Look, I feel like you should get the drill by now. Recycle, please. On the subject of takeaways, pizza boxes aren't actually recyclable. Grease and cheese is what we would call suboptimal for the process. Now, unsurprisingly, given that the topic of the video is recycling, I have mentioned recycling a lot already, but some of you may not have a dedicated bin for recycling. Now, if you want to do your bit, getting a dedicated bin for it will make it so much easier, because instead of just having a dedicated bag, you just yeet it in the bin. Just yeet it in the bin. If you live in Courts or Signet Wharf, however, you can get recyclable bags from the accommodation office. These will help you in your journey to make the world a better place. But students don't just spend all their time at home. Okay, well, some of them do, and I might be one of them, but we all do go into uni most of the time. And whilst in uni, there are things you can do, especially if you're out and about. If you're a caffeine fiend much like myself, you'll do well to remember that the lids of the coffee cups you buy can be recycled. However, the cups themselves can't, unless you're in the uni and you do get one of the uni's specific recyclable cups. Now let's assume you're what we would call a functioning human being and you pack your own lunch, or even if you just get some bits out and about, then there are certain things that can and can't be recycled that you need to know about. If you've got cans or bottles, you can yeet those into recycling, but if you've got sandwich containers, crisp packets and chocolate wrappers, then those go in the old general waste. However, if you want to prevent as much waste as possible, one alternative is to bring in your own containers for food, or even drinks. But hey, what's that over there I see in the distance? Is that a new Keep Cup from the university? Well, yes, it is a new Keep Cup. With the new university Keep Cups, you can do your bit for the recycling effort by reusing it over and over and over again for your hot drinks. Do your bit for the future, do your bit for the planet, and have some moral superiority above your friends. Now, you may be confused about where some of the food-link containers go, and unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, it all goes in general waste. There are biodegradable containers available, and they're a darn sight better than styrofoam or plastic, but it still goes in general waste. Finally, if I can ask you one thing, please don't put general waste items in recycling bins, folks. I understand I literally can't force you to do your bit, and if you don't want to do it, that's absolutely fine. Again, literally cannot force you. However, if you put general waste items in recycling bins, it contaminates the whole bin. The uni actually gets charged extra for it being processed, and none of it gets recycled. So all the effort that those people just put in to try and do their bit, worthless. Remember, dudes and dudettes, we've only got one planet and recycling is a big help in regards to the future and sustainability, so please do your bit. Remember to that like button. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.